Joining us now is the president of Emily's List, Stephanie Schriock. Mike Barnicle and Nicole Wallis also with us for the conversation. Stephanie, great to have you on board this morning.
Thank you for here.
Boy, since the inception of Emily's List, it's had a great impact. How's it doing so far, though, especially this past? Well, tell us, I guess, first of all, what it is for those who don't know.
Oh, absolutely. So Emily's List, a 28-year-old organization, is a network of now 2 million women and men across the country that support pro-choice Democratic women for office. And our sole goal is to change who's representing us in Congress, at the state level, in governorships, and ultimately someday in the White House.
Well, this past election cycle, there were, I think, some huge opportunities for Emily's List, given some of the Republican candidates.
Right.
Were you all able to take advantage of it?
It was an incredible, in fact, for us, it was a historic cycle. We ended up looking at a United States Senate where we had 20 women now in the Senate, the first time in our nation's history. Added 3 new women to the Senate, 16 new women to the House of Representatives, and we know we got a lot more work to do, but we're getting there.
Mike Barnicle.
Does Emily's List select candidates? Obviously, there's a litmus test at some level, right?
Well, as I said, we only support pro-choice Democratic women, so it's a 3 for 3. You got to meet those 3 criteria. And then we do look at the nature of the race and what's going on in the state and the dynamics of the situation before we put a full-throated endorsement behind somebody.
Have you had any races where a woman is opposing another woman for the same office and you have to pick and choose?
We have. Now, sadly, it doesn't happen nearly as often as it should, because it seems to be always the case with the men. There's men running against men all the time. But we are seeing that more and more, and in some situations we stay out. If it's a Democratic primary and there's 2 women, sometimes we stay out, sometimes we get in. We have run against Republican women, and we'll continue to do so because we are Democrats, and we do believe that we need to keep growing those Democratic numbers in Congress as well.
Nicole Wallis.
Have you ever felt tempted to get involved and help a pro-choice Republican woman when there's no better alternative in the race?
You know, organizationally, when we set it up 28 years ago, the mission was clear, that it was pro-choice Democratic women. And actually, the reason that was set up is that, you know, particularly at the time, it was get support from the party structure for women. I mean, you think about when Emily's List started, no Democratic woman had won a seat in the United States Senate ever. And then Barbara Buono was the first one. I like to remind people that, you know, 28 years ago, there's this great story of Barbara Buono talks about how there wasn't a women's bathroom in the United States Senate when she got to the Senate in 1986, which is just outrageous.
So recent, it's alarming.
I mean, we had MTV before there was a women's bathroom in the United States Senate. That's what we're working at. So for us, we're still focused on Democrats. I would love to see a pro-choice Republican counterpart organization do the same thing to move women through the Republican Party.
What would you have done, though, this is a hypothetical, obviously, had you a Republican pro-choice woman running in a primary against a Neanderthal like Todd Akin?
Well, personally, I would cringe.
She doesn't like to think about that concept.
It's awful, but, you know, again, I would hope in that case that the Republicans would choose the right way. But the truth is right now, and I hate to say this, but they're not. They're choosing the Todd Akins. I mean, in 2010, which was a huge Republican victory year, I mean, it was a huge swing, they had a record number of women running in the Republican Party that year, but less than 1/3 of those women made it through their primaries. The Republican Party right now is moving very far to the right. Now, maybe they'll change as time goes on, but right now we haven't seen it, and I think it's hard for pro-choice, moderate Republican women to make it through those primaries. And those that are there are stepping away. Losing Olympia Snowe, you know, in her retirement is a great loss to the United States Senate.
What do you make of the support among women for Chris Christie in New Jersey?
You know, I think it's going to grow and grow. I mean, we're looking at this race. Emily's List has gone in behind Barbara Buono, who is the first woman majority leader in the Senate there in New Jersey. Has done some great work, both in supporting women's issues, but also in cutting out government waste. $4.5 billion that she has pulled out of waste in New Jersey. We recognize we're not getting in this lightly. We know this is a tough race. He's very popular right now. But if you look underneath the numbers, his polling is upside down on economy, jobs, and taxes. This campaign is going to be about economic issues. We have to make the case, and we've got the time to do it.
All right. Thanks very much for coming in. Stephanie Schriock, president of Emily's List. It's very good to have you on the show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
More Morning Joe in just a moment.